Tune in, it's time to take the ride. Regina's voice, it's your guide. West Virginia's heart, it's right inside. West Virginia, why hear the news? Politics and stories, what's shaping you? From the capital to the county.
All right, everybody, I'm doing a little sound check. If you could see up on the screen, that's what this episode is about. It's kind of an impromptu live. All right, everybody. And we are a go for sound, you guys. I'm so excited. So my name is Regina Connell. Welcome to West Virginia Wire. So you guys, we're going to be diving into copyright issues, people sound checking you. There are so many available services out there and if you're a content creator, this is more geared towards you. And even if you're not a content creator, you enjoy watching someone who is a content creator, this could affect them as well. So let's talk about it. So I'm not really ready. So let me play some music for you guys and I'll be right back with you. We are going to be viewing the video that was blocked from YouTube. We are in dispute about it. And it goes deeper. So YouTube is saying that it's a Disney thing, that Disney is the one that blocked it. So the soundtrack, if you saw it up on the screen, is, let me get to that screen, you guys. So it's, copyrighted content is automatic gangsta walk from HAAWK for a third party. So that third party would be story blocks, right? And I've heard many content creators actually advertise for story block, encourage people to use story blocks. And I think it's where you can get stock footage. I'm not sure if it's an editing software or what. I personally use Clipchamp. So to get some context to this story, let's go to the original video that I made. I'm going to take you directly to Clipchamp and show you how I built it. And you're also going to get to see the actual soundtrack that YouTube is referring to. I'm also going to take you to the X platform where I'm back and forth with YouTube, Team YouTube, and all of that. So you guys, thank you for joining. If you're liking what you're hearing so far, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. You guys, leave me some comment feedback. Has this happened to you? I've heard other content creators talk about it, and this is a real deal. This is wrong. If someone's paying, because I'm not as talented, I can't make all the original music myself, nor make all of this all in one to do the type of content creation that I'm trying to do. Yes, I do rely on other people's works, right? And we'll explain more about that as well. Again, my name is Regina Connell. You guys, welcome to West Virginia Wire, and let's jump in feet first.
To the rivers wide, tune in, it's time to take the ride. Regina's voice, it's your guide. West Virginia's heart, it's right inside. West Virginia, why hear the news? Politics and stories, what's shaping.
Wait, that's happening now? West Virginia Wire, Regina reacts. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to my YouTube channel where you can't see it. I can see it because it's my YouTube channel, and we'll show you where it all started. So we had uploaded the video to schedule out for an upload, not an instant premiere or any of that. We just scheduled it out we've been watching some other how-to videos to see if it would trigger the algorithm in any way. If anyone's interested in what we're doing, that's all we're trying to find out. So we're going to go to YouTube, and then I'm going to take you back to the various emails back and forth with YouTube, also on the X platform. So, YouTube claims to be team, and I don't know what team they're on, but we're going to find out. So I will tell you in transparency, yes, Rusty and I do subscribe to YouTube Premium. We also pay the yearly X platform. We're going to pay by the year, but we subscribe to that and all of that, right? So everything fell under the Fair Use Act, but the great thing is we know why it got blocked. It got blocked because of this gangsta walks, right? So you guys saw that. Let me bring it back up on the screen just one more time so that you can see it. All right, so hi, West Virginia Wire. The following claim on video, the clucking continues, the view misses the point again, has been disputed. What? Okay, whatever. So, copyrighted content, automatic gangsta walk by Hawk for a third party. All right, so we dug in a little deeper. So, and then we found out that third party representation is story blocks. And I have to find that. My husband sent it to me. So, oh, actually, there's another page to this. So let's look at that. I'm not used to having to do stuff like this. Usually I know, what I'm going to talk about, but I just didn't see this one coming. All right, guys. So this is the sound bites that they're claiming, right? Yet this content, this audio is available. It is available. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to fix this. It is available through Clipchamp, which I'm getting ready to show you guys right now. So if we go over to Clipchamp, so this is where I started with the video, you guys, and I built it, added the soundtracks and all of that, right? So I'm going to let you guys watch the video, but this is the soundtrack that they're talking about. I'm going to let you listen to it and see if they try to ban me, right? So if you go over here to content library, if you guys can see that, let me see if I can enlarge this screen up. I don't know if it'll do that for this. Oh, no. No. Okay, so but you could go over here to content library, right? And they have music. And if you simply put in gangsta, right? Or if you want hillbilly, which I used hillbilly in this too. So, I don't know. So, automatic gangsta walk. I don't know, y'all. Who owns this song, man? Does Clipchamp own it? Does Storyblocks own it? I'm not sure. Somebody sound off if you know, because my video is being blocked because of it. And I will say, we pay Clipchamp for the premium. So now that I've found a song, a back song that I like that works with my content, that means I have to stop using it, find something new. That's how they do. Hey, content creator, look. Let me pause this a second. So let me just say, if the original creator of this music would have simply just reached out to me, maybe put something in the comment section, hey, that's my music. And I could have said, "Oh, okay." And they do promote story blocks to say that they will go after people that they find. They have a whole team that searches for their music. Well, did somebody that sold their music to story blocks also sell their music to clip champs? I'm not sure about this. I don't know. I would rather work with original content creators. I totally would. It's just hard to get people together that have a same dream. And I don't know what to say about this. So anyway, I'm gonna take you back to the clip champ is where I built the video, right? So I went to the view. I suffered through the episode of the view, you guys, and you know, whatever. In fact, let me do this. I'm gonna do this, you guys. I'm gonna get some sound. Let me play the gangsta again and see if they block me. All right, so we're gonna get some clapping sounds going on. Oh, you have to put cheering, I think. Yeah, here we go. So we have all kinds of, little soundtracks that you can use and all that stuff, right? So now that I've finally got my tech issues worked out, now I got to worry about being copyright struck. And they did say it wasn't a strike on my channel. And then they said it was from Disney. The strike was from Disney, that I'd have to take it up with Disney. Well, it doesn't sound right for me because I didn't get the sound from Disney. I got the sound from Clipchamp, right? And you guys could see that up on the screen. All right, so let's run on over to the X platform really quickly, and I will show you the back and forth on that, and then we'll watch the actual video. You guys, I tried to show it last night, and it seemed like it didn't have any problems for whatever reason, because I've used that back soundtrack before, right? And I really like it. I haven't really heard any other content creators using it heavily. So I thought, okay, I'll use it. Anybody can use it that pays for the premium clip champ, right? So anyway, let's get back to where we were. So we're on the X platform, and we are going to go to my page. And this is me on the X platform. You guys, it is the birthday of Mixed Texan Report. Happy birthday, Mixed Texan Report. And so this right here, well, we're live right now. Let's make sure we got sound. And this is me on the X. Yep, and we got sound. All right, so oh man, I posted a lot since then, you guys. I'm sorry. You have to suffer with me through all this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So you guys have seen all of that, but Team YouTube, here they go. This is what they responded with. And I thank you, Team YouTube. I truly do. I'm not mad at you. I'm just questioning the team dynamic here. You say you're a team, but whose team are you on? It doesn't seem like you're on the team. So Team YouTube responded, "We hear you. YouTube can't mediate any copyright disputes." So, hey, YouTube, my first question would be, if you can't mediate, why did you mediate and block my video? Hmm? All right, so that's just a question. I don't know if anybody can answer that. I'm all ears. Let's keep going, guys. All right, so we can't mediate any copyright disputes. So if you can't mediate them, why are you enforcing them? But copyright owners often release their claims after a creator's dispute. You shouldn't make us dispute to begin with, especially if an error is brought to their attention. More here. So I will tell you guys, I do have an email where that error was made before. My stuff was blocked. I went through the proper channels, and I am grateful that YouTube, didn't take very long to get back to me on it. This should stop happening. And if Canva is the issue, if Clipchamp is, and forgive me for saying Canva because they're not involved here, if Clipchamp is the issue, if Storyblocks is the issue, I highly encourage all original music people that sell their stock footage or whatever it is they're doing, right? Stop this madness. Come to the people directly. You had trolls finding me and finding the content that I used with my content that I paid for. So what's up with that? All right, guys, let me stop. I digressed. So anyway, if you guys can see up on the screen, this is the YouTube on the X platform. So this is my response. No, you obviously don't hear anyone but Disney. And I'm not even sure if Disney was really involved in this. I don't know. Does Disney own Storyblocks? Do they? I don't know. You claim to not mediate, but yet you block content creators' content on behalf of Disney. And then you tell us to take it up with Disney. You are nothing but Disney's puppet master. Stop this madness. Release my content. I broke no rules is what I meant to say. And I should not have to take it up with Disney. That is what you are for. Is YouTube owned by Disney? Does anyone know? You should stand up for your creators a little more. You're a sellout, but what do you care about us? I mean, I'm not bringing you any money. I don't think I am right now. I mean, I'm trying, but whatever. So, and we did find the problem ultimately. I don't want to bore you with all this back and forth. We found the problem, and Disney is trying, sorry, and Disney is trying to copyright me over soundtrack in Clipchamp. Try again. We pay for that. So again, it goes deeper than that. It goes all the way to Storyblocks, and I'll pull up Storyblocks later on. But for right now, now that my sound is actually working all the way through, let's go ahead and get into this video. We're going to play it straight from Clipchamp, right? Because that's where I got the soundtrack from. All right, guys, let's do this. So you could clearly see, you know, and then I'll play it again. If you can see over in the corner, you can't because I don't have it on screen. But if you guys can see over in the corner, I'll try to point to it with my. So we have some human sounds. We have a crowd cheering. And we have another crowd cheering. That's kind of a lackluster crowd to me. That's the crowd cheer I like. That's my favorite one. So that's also, just it's got stock footage, all of that. So if you simply put in gangsta, which I know I've done this, but we're going to do it again just to get the full grasp of it. So we will, and automatic gangsta walk is the first thing that comes up in the music selection, and it's offered to premium Clip Champ subscribers. I don't know about you, but I like it. All right, guys, y'all ready to get into this video? Let's do it. Once again, try this again. Take 3 for times to run. I like things in 3s. What about you?
Someone who's large doesn't need you to point that out. Like they are very someone who but someone who's smart doesn't need you to point that out. Like they are very
From mountains to the rivers wide, tune in, it's time to
for the health secretary. Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you address those kinds of issues? Why are you talking about the governor's rate? Because, in order to do all those things you're asking for, you'd actually have to do your homework.
Yes, you have to do your job.
You'd have to do your job. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's probably easier to focus on the governor than it is the rise in measles, whooping cough, tuberculosis, which are all these things that are happening simultaneously.
They don't know what they're doing, and they're being very careless. And also this idea, that he wants to run a third term.
But it's also, there's just a human reaction, a visceral reaction to like a bully, even though he wasn't like mad. Someone who's large, but someone who's large doesn't need you to point that out. Like they are very,
all right, guys, if
they are
you
very aware and they feel that all the time. So to say that when he's on a stage,
if you can hear the music that's playing softly in the background, that is actually the music that I was copyrighted over. Now they did say it wasn't a strike against my channel. I'm not in trouble, yet it does hurt me. It hurts me as a content creator. It makes me seem not credible and all of that. And anyone who knows me, anyone who is a content creator, not a content creator, you guys know that, hey, I shoot straight from the hip, right? I see it, I speak it. I know how to be respectful. Hopefully, it's gotten to a point nowadays that let me not digress and get off topic. This is about copywriting and blocking and all of that nonsense on YouTube. So let's keep going.
that is what nightmares are made of.
Yeah.
And then following it up with the cute little button, let's weigh him in. I would have died.
Yeah.
Like it is really just awful behavior.
If I can mention one more thing too, I spent a lot of time in West Virginia, one of those beautiful states, but it has.
Hey
one of the
everybody,
reasons
welcome
it's
to
health
West Virginia Wire. My name is Regina Connell. You guys, welcome to House Connell. Today we are going to be breaking down some statements from The View. I'm actually going to be watching the whole entire episode for you guys. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to go pull from somebody else's content. A lot of the times it's hard to watch it by myself, so I do like to do it in a group setting. I enjoy watching other content creators and getting their takes on things. So you guys, there's a lot to get into. And today, this episode is personal for me. We live in the hollers of Boone County, West Virginia. And I guess the hosts of The View feel like RFK Jr. was beating up on our governor. I don't understand. I'm not sure that I'll ever understand why folk feel the need to jump in and be offended for someone, right? And feel like they have to jump in and defend their honor when the person at the podium didn't say anything about it. In fact, took it in good cheer. And if they were offended, I think it would be between that person and the person that they deemed offensive. All right, you guys, let's jump into see what The View had to say. It looks like they had a lot to say today, so I'm going to suffer through the whole episode for you. I'm going to take one for the team, you guys. I do enjoy other content creators' takes on it. I like to watch these things in a group setting because it's a lot more fun that way. All right, guys, without further ado, let's jump in.
Physically able. In just 71 days, the President of the United States has inflicted so much harm on Americans' safety, financial stability, the core foundations of our democracy, and even our aspirations as a people from our highest offices, a sense of common decency.
Now, Elon Musk has been engaging in a different kind of political theater with $1 million giveaway to Wisconsin voters, which will either,
All right, guys, I am so excited that we actually have sound. And so I'll say it again, what you're hearing in the background, the Gangsta Walk, that is available on Clipchamp. And let me show you, because I'm streaming this directly from Clipchamp as a share screen. So once again, YouTube, if you are watching this, if I minimize the screen, Clipchamp. And if you type in the type of music, like I've typed in hillbilly, right? And I have that as some of my backdrop music. So I like the Southern Discomfort one. Love a harmonica. So that's also in the backdrop, right? And I've used the Gangsta Walk one before, and I haven't gotten copyrighted or blocked or any of them. So YouTube, release my video, please. Do the right thing. Anyway, we're watching it here now. I don't think it's been blocked yet. So let's continue on, you guys. I will remind you that what's playing in the background is from Clipchamp, where I built the video. And then if you simply go in and you put gangsta, oh, gangsta, 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 bam, gangsta fantasy. Huh? I use the automatic Gangsta Walk, and that's what you're hearing in the background, and you're going to hear it almost all the way through, that and Southern Discomfort. All right, guys, let's get back into this video. I hope you're enjoying it so far. If you are on the YouTube platform, please hit that like, share, and subscribe if you've earned it so far. If not, a little longer. We do have other things you might be into, books, all kinds of things, Bible most importantly. All right, guys, let's continue on and see what we can learn from the ladies on The View. I just need to really drive home. You guys, I really want to drive home. Did you notice when she started trying to verbally attack Elon Musk? And it must not have been a truth coming out of her mouth, because did you hear her get all... Anyway, I'm going to play it back a little bit for you guys. I don't enjoy seeing anyone choke up like that, but I feel like things happen for a reason. I don't discount anything, right? So let's continue on. And they bash Elon, they bash Trump at any given moment. And the man said the first things out of his mouth was, I rise to disrupt. I rise to disrupt. What does that speak to you? All right, let's keep going. All right, we're continuing on. Oh, Whoopi the wildebeest is somebody.
I want to point out that, political theater with $1 million giveaway to Wisconsin voters, which will either,
She needs some water.
I just want to point out that, here in New York, we used to have something called a political machine called Tammany Hall. And one of the things that they stopped was them being able to pay people to vote the way they wanted them to pay. They used to call it
vote the way they wanted them to pay. See, they're telling themselves.
Right. And they stopped all of that. They said they didn't want that because it didn't represent what people wanted. It represented what
Buyer wanted.
Yeah. Right. And they stopped all of that. They said they didn't want that because it didn't represent what people want. Called a political machine called Tammany Hall. And one of the things that they stopped was them being able to pay people to vote the way they wanted them to pay. They used to call it quid pro quo.
What is this one?
And they stopped all of that. They said they didn't want that because it didn't represent what people wanted. It represented what
Buyer wanted.
See, they can't even articulate what they're saying because it's nonsense. It's foolery. It doesn't even make any sense. So and I can't believe they didn't community note them, make them read a legal notice. I hope they did because he wasn't paying for votes. And we'll explain that later. Alyssa did clarify.
You should not be able to buy it. But I mean, are any of these effective? I mean, we know it's effective.
I mean, and let's talk about Harry Sisson. I mean, he's not even from the United States. You guys join us Wednesday, April 9th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a live panel show. And we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Jasmine Crockett and her new opponent, Mr. Sheldon Daniels, in the 30th District of Texas. That's my home state. And I'm just wondering, Miss Crockett, are you ever going to debate Mr. Sheldon Daniels? You guys, ask her, even if you are a staunch defender of Jasmine Crockett, the conversation has to start somewhere. See if she'll even have a conversation with you. See if it's just limited to the things that she can make money off of. These are all questions we should be able to ask. Keep asking questions. Let's keep going. I think we're still doing good. I haven't seen if I've been blocked yet on YouTube. All right. So whoever made the original music for the Gangsta Walk, thank you for doing it. You know, if you sold it to Clipchamp and you sold it to Storyblocks and you stole, I don't know what you did. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it was stolen from you. At least reach out to the content creators that are actually paying for this stuff. Let us know. You know, maybe we can help you work it out. But to continuously troll people and block them, and especially when I've used this soundtrack so many times. Let's keep going. And I don't think I saw a disclaimer anywhere in Clipchamp that I can only use that soundtrack for so much of my video. If it's in there, please show it to me very loud and clear. All right, guys, let's keep going. And thanks for watching. For rooting for Mr. Daniels. So let's continue on. I'm sorry I keep stopping it. It's just, I just can't believe the statements that come out of their mouth and that they're not getting there's no truth to what she's saying. They're not buying votes. They're encouraging people. And he plainly stated it was like an interview process and they get $1 million sign-on bonus is basically what it's like. And he's trolling the heck out of them. I can't.
Because people need money. So I guess if someone's holding out and saying, you have the chance to win $1 million.
I think that's going to be effective for some people. But I love what Cory Booker is doing. I love what Senator Cory Booker is doing.
Of course you do, dear.
You've seen these sort of marathon filibusters. That's not exactly what he's doing because there's.
And just for transparency, the sound effect that you are hearing in the background is also from Clipchamp, and it's called Plucked Strings, Growing Disbelief. So when I pick these soundtracks, you know, it's how I'm feeling. When I put an overlay on there to keep me from stopping the video every 5 seconds that, you know, you guys are trying to watch and trying to understand, because sometimes it is more comfortable to watch it in a group setting, right? And so I'll overlay some music to kind of see how I'm feeling. And it just so happens that that's what it's called. You know, I use the American Gangsta Walk. I use the Southern Discomfort, and I also use the Pluck Strings Disbelief. All right, let's keep going, guys, and I'll try not to interrupt it anymore. I think so far we're so good. We haven't been blocked yet, so let's keep going.
Nothing on the floor right now coming to vote.
Explain
if there's
what you
something
mean.
on the floor coming to vote, sometimes a senator will get on the floor and just take up tons of time during a marathon to stall the vote, right? That's a filibuster. He's not.
See, they don't even know what they're talking about. We'll get into that in a little bit. Let's keep going.
Doing that. But we're in a constitutional crisis, people. We are. I don't care what anyone says. We are. We're there right now. And we need that kind of energy coming from the Democrats. People feel that no one is fighting for them. And when I look at Cory Booker, I feel like Cory Booker is fighting for them. Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense.
The Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
So this is the part we're waiting for. This is the whole reason I decided to do the segment. So I'm glad they're doing it early on, and let's get into it.
This is a very active audience. Y'all ain't playing, are you? Well, he took the stage at a Make America Healthy again over the weekend, where he put the focus on West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey. Take a look.
I got to know Governor Morrisey early in the transition. First time I saw him, I said, "You look like you ate Governor Morrisey." and there was a lot of talk about getting healthy again. And I'm very happy that he's invited me to be his personal trainer. We're going to put him on a carnivore diet. We're going to make him raise your hand if you want Governor Morrisey to do a public weigh-in once a month.
So we raise two hands.
And then when he's lost 30 pounds, I'm going to come back to the state and do a celebration and a public weigh-in with him.
And before they dig in, I just want to give a couple of comments. So I'll say it again. I said it in my other content, you guys, that, he doesn't need RFK Jr. to be his personal trainer. But the fact that even if he was saying it sarcastically or being facetious or whatever, they had a good back and forth, a good banter, and they both took it in stride and the crowd seemed to receive it well. So what's the problem? And the fact that RFK Jr. in his busy schedule would make time to come back to West Virginia to celebrate our milestones and successes, I don't see how that's a bad thing. And really and truly in the military and law enforcement, any of that, they should all be physically fit, all take personal training tests, PT tests regularly. When my father was in the Navy, they had to do weigh-ins. So I don't know what that speaks to you, but let's get back into this. What kills me the most about this, what Alyssa is saying, is she spent time in West Virginia, but she spent time in the bougie ass places. Where did she really go in West Virginia to be able to say she knows so much about West Virginia? And you notice that they're reading those stats off of a card.
Why are you talking about the governor's weight? Because, in order to do all those things you're asking for, you'd actually have to do your homework.
Yes, you have to do your job.
You'd have to do your job. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's probably easier to focus on the governor than it is the rise in measles, whooping cough, tuberculosis, which are all these things that are happening simultaneously. But it's also
Did it ever occur to these women that maybe if our bodies were healthier to begin with, that maybe we wouldn't be combating diseases like that? I wonder why they don't ever bring that point up. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's dig back in. Anyway, so you guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. This is kind of an impromptu test space. You guys join us. We're having a live stream April 9th, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got a lot of great things to talk about. And by then, it'll probably, I don't know if it'll be quieted down a lot or not. We're going to be talking about Harry Sisson and that situation. And is he really a U.S. citizen? Did he vote? Does he really defend women? We'll talk about that. Then we're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett and her new opponent, Mr. Sheldon Daniels. Got some things coming that way. And then also let's talk about content creators getting fired on their jobs for creating content at work. And I want to find out how everybody feels about it. What do you think? All right, let's keep going. We're almost done and then I'm over and out. And I'll say it again. This is what they want. They're going to talk about internet, how West Virginians need internet. And our problem is that we live in rural areas. They want us clumped up on each other. We're perfectly happy on our 3.7 acres of land here in the mountains. We live deep in the hollers of Boone County, West Virginia. And the few times that there's been storms, we're very rarely without power very long. It's only happened a couple of times. And the internet, I think it's went out maybe once or twice, and that's when they were upgrading or doing some stuff. So I don't know what they're talking about.
There's just a human reaction, a visceral reaction to like a bully, even though he wasn't like mad. someone who's large, someone who's, yeah, but someone who's large doesn't need you to point that out. Like, they are very aware and they feel that all the time. So to say that when he's on a stage, that is what nightmares are made of.
Yeah.
And then following it up with the cute little button, let's weigh him in. I would have died. Like, it is really just awful behavior.
If I could mention one more thing too, I spent a lot of time in West Virginia, one of those beautiful states, but it has.
She spent no time in West Virginia. I want to know what her idea of a lot of time is. So listen to what she says. This is interesting.
One of the reasons that health outcomes are so far behind is there's very rural parts. So there's just not access to care.
Yeah.
That is one of the top things that HHS should be dealing with, is how to have more access to care. And
And you hear them coughing all the while. They're living in clumped up cities and they're maintaining.
because that is why you end up with higher mortality rates.
To be out there exactly talking about that right now.
Well,
Maybe
they should
Cory
be.
Booker will
They
cover
should be. They should be talking about a lot of stuff. I mean, the fact that you can't get any kind of what do you call it?
Insulin, diabetes.
No, you can't get.
Look, they can't even talk.
Healthcare.
2 words out.
She can't see what I mean.
One of the hardest things to get people to recognize is part of the fact of being in a rural area puts you at such a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And one of the things they need to start doing is making sure that you can get the internet in all of these different places. Because if you can't access anything, you can't do any of the telling stuff.
So Whoopi lived in an era where internet was not accessible. The internet was not accessible until 1993, right? So what did we do before then? She acts like we weren't able to do a thing. She acts like we weren't able to work. We weren't able to survive. Yes, the world has evolved. Internet, you kind of have to have it, but you don't have to have it. You don't. We've lived without it before when everyone said you had to have it.
And you should do that. And they're cutting telehealth.
And they're cutting
from
telehealth.
seniors.
So, Mr. Kennedy.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm so geeked out about my sound. So many times I've come on and done a live where my sound was knocked out. All right, we're good. We're Gucci. All right, guys, let's continue on. This is almost done. I really question a lot of the statements that they make. What do you guys think? They talk a lot about West Virginia, but have they really been to West Virginia? Have they been to all these places that they're so passionate about? Have they really? And I'll say it again. RFK Jr. strongly talked about the reason that JFK, his uncle, won the election, the presidential election, because he came to West Virginia and he shook the hand. It was his goal to shake the hand of every West Virginian. Governor Patrick Morris say, I throw down the gauntlet. Do you accept the challenge to shake the hand of every West Virginian in your own home state? You are the governor. It's not an unreasonable request. And imagine the amount of walking we could get done. And we will weigh in with you, sir. And I don't think that you were offended. That's what the View would have us believe. I mean, any other time would be reporting on this? Absolutely not. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. I'm open to all comments. I feel like I'm a pretty reasonable person. Let's keep going.
Junior, if you really want to really do something, people really could use your help. They could use your help getting them the access they need to keep their families
We
well.
need the internet.
Please work on that. And let the governor take care of his business. Let the governor and his family work out whatever they need to work out. But you don't need to be the person pointing it out. You need to be the person helping the state. We'll be right back.
Well, Whoopi, tell us how you really feel. And there's
Oh my
Gangsta Walk
gosh.
again, you guys. Let me show you one more time in clip chant that I use Gangsta Walk and
All right, you guys, that's
Southern
about all I've got from
discomfort.
the crackling crows of the View. Do you think their view is a little skewed? I sometimes wonder. What do you think about what RFK Jr. said at the podium? I mean, maybe it wasn't the right time or place to say something like that. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. You guys might need
Gangsta Walk. And then you heard Southern Discomfort, right? All right, we are finishing out. Place to say something like that. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. You guys, my name is Regina Connell. This is West Virginia Wire. See you on the flip flop. Over now.
Got the world on my mind.
Y'all on the
Ain't no
flip flop.
time to play. Chasing dreams, running fast, feeling no delay. Rise and shine. It's a brand new day. Got the world on my mind. Ain't no time to play. Chasing dreams, running fast, feeling no delay. We're the watchdogs, always watching what they say. Eyes wide open, we're taking what's ours. Breaking through the silence, aiming for the stars.